Hello and welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today I'm working on my dad's 40-year-old oak. It's not coming into leaf. It is still green, so there's life there, but I think the problem is in the soil, so I'm going to do an emergency repot on it. This part has got quite a big lip on the inside, so it's going to be a little bit of work getting this soil out of this, and I'm going to have to use some kind of tool to cut around the edge of the soil. I don't have one of those proper root sickles, but my dad just said he's got my brother's old sheath knife, so this should do the job. Not sure why he's got a German army replica knife. I'm not sure how PC that is, but it should do the job. And if anyone ever comes to steal me trees, they should know that I'm like that guy from the Magnificent Seven. Come on, Tony, you've got to want it. I'll just get this onto here. There we go. Cheers. First job then is just to cut around the edge with a knife. Oh, this is going through like butter, which tells me there's basically no good roots around the edge of the pot. This is why the tree hasn't made it. You shouldn't be able to just go through like this. Well, I can feel it cutting some roots there. But that's going through way too easily. For a tree that's been in a pot as many years as this, for it to have such a lack of roots tells me that's the reason the tree isn't coming alive this year. It'll be interesting now to see whether this just lifts out. Oh, it's all in one big unit. I'm going to need some extra muscle for this. I need to cut more of an angle on that, I think. Now, I didn't cut it close to the lip, so it should just... It should just come out. Oh wait, there's a... Oh.
One you missed.
There's a thick branch there. A thick root. Yeah, it was that one. Let's see if that'll lift. Ready?
It's going.
Go on. That's it. Yes, I've got the pot. And down she goes. I've transferred the tree across into the wheelbarrow so that I don't get soil everywhere. And I can take a look at the underneath. There's a few pieces of old pots under here. And it's quite dense. The soil's very, very wet and muddy and soggy. And I need to get some of this raked out so I can get some decent, well-draining soil into this. This is definitely the problem. Whether the tree will make it, I've no idea. But to leave it was not an option. Look at the size of that massive woodlouse. That's huge. That's never the best sign. I'm using like a stabbing motion to hopefully just gently tease these roots away. But obviously there's big pieces of crockery in there as well. And I want to maintain as many of these roots as possible. I can't see any fresh growth. There's no fresh root tips growing at all, which is not a good sign. But there's also no bad smell. So it doesn't smell like everything's just completely rotting away. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this. I'm giving it a 30% chance of survival. I think this is a job that a chopstick will be better than the root hook actually, because I can really sort of get in with that stabbing motion without having to tear the roots, which is what I don't want to do. See, some of them have come away in the cutting process to get it out of the pot. But these that are left, you know, I don't want to hopefully disturb too much. I'm going to leave this to soak while I have some dinner. The tree's had a good soak now for half an hour. I had a nice spot of lunch, cheese and ham toasty, salad. And you can see, look at those nice roots. So my percentage has gone up from 30% to 40%. Now to get it in the pot. There's only one drainage hole in this pot down here. It's quite a big one, about that size. So I've covered it with some scrim tape and some bonsai soil, and I'll get some soil into that. I didn't manage to get all the soil off this. I don't want to go too crazy on it, but I managed to get most of it off, which is enough. There, bed that in nicely there like that. The soil mix I'm using is my normal mix without the pine bark. So this is perlite, grit and cocoa coir. And now I'll just spend 5 minutes just working this soil down into these roots. Now it's all potted up, I wanted to show you what the buds look like. As you can see, they have just started to swell. There's a tiny bit of green on them. So I have got hope that these could turn into leaves. And when you scratch underneath the bark, there, it is bright green underneath. This oak had a pretty solid year last year. It had some good foliage on it. So my hope is that there's plenty of stored energy in the trunk. And now that it's in some nice free draining soil, it can use that energy to grow some foliage. I'll keep you updated on how it does, but for the next few weeks, this is going in full shade, and fingers crossed. As always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.